deep from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They sing on a sleepless night. Try to catch me howling at the moon.
And I are taking a road trip to Denver, Colorado, where we're going to pick up a new YFZ. And so for the time being, we're gonna postpone the project on his 400EX. We've been working on that for a couple of years. We're going to postpone that project and pick up this YFZ in Denver, and then we're going to take it out to a trail in the Rocky Mountains, and we're going to catch some pretty cool footage of us riding around on these trails out in the Rockies and see how this thing runs. Okay, so we just picked up the quad from Ace's Motorcycles in Littleton, Colorado, which is an area here in Denver. And so we got some directions to a cool spot up in the mountains to go ride, and we're gonna truck this thing up on the mountain and put it on a trail and see how it runs. I'm leaving. You go too fast. So what we're doing is we're going up to, what's it called? Is it called
Devil's Head Fire Watch Tower.
Devil's Head Fire Watch Tower. Apparently a pretty famous place. We don't know about these things in Arkansas, but we're not being smart. We got half a tank of fuel, and we got about, did you say about 5 more miles left to go?
Yeah, probably.
We know nothing about this quad. For all we know, it's going to break down in a couple of minutes. we got the YFZ back to the house, and one of the things that we had asked the shop about, we got the YFZ from Aces there in Denver, and we asked them if the guy who built this thing, because it's not stock. A lot of work has been done to this, and as whenever we build a quad ourselves, we keep track of everything that we do, and so we asked the dealership if the guy who traded this in had kept track of, had a parts list of what he put on it. They said he didn't. So we don't know a lot about what's been done to the motor. We did discover yesterday that it's fast. I mean, this thing is really quick. So the guy didn't just build up the motor though. He put a lot of fun parts on it, but he also did a tremendous amount of weight reduction. And so you'll notice that there's no front bumper, and that's not just because it's missing, that's actually by design. So the guy took off the front bumper to reduce weight. He also took off the front brakes and the whole hub assembly for weight reduction. And the rear swing arm as well. That tubular design is significantly lighter than the stock swing arm. And so it's not just that the motor has been significantly increased, the compression's been bumped up, it runs off of race fuel, but it's that the quad is so light. And so when you get on it and you let loose of that clutch, I mean, it just flies. And we don't even know yet, because we've just messed around with it for a little bit, so we don't even know if you get out of second gear what this thing is going to do. But it is wild. It's got 2-ply tires on it, and so that's also just ultra lightweight. So as far as parts that we know, obviously the compression has been significantly increased, and that's why it runs on race fuel. But this guy has added an oversized radiator to aid with cooling, and then check out on this side, Alec. He's also put in a thermometer so you can see how hot it's getting. There's an electric fan, which the electric fan would have come stock on the original quad behind the factory radiator. He put on, he took off the stock headlights, and this was probably because he raced the quad, and so he put on removable headlights right here, and as best we can tell, those are fog lights like what you would put on a Honda Civic. But if you're going to take it to the track, you could just unbolt those, disconnect them, and it would be race ready. The guy that had it also, he put on a dry clutch, and so this would have, of course, the stock YFZ would have come with a wet clutch. He took this off, and this whole housing right here is replaced. And then inside of this housing is a dry clutch, and so we're gonna watch and see how that goes. We do know that it's so sensitive; it's very grabby. But we're gonna watch this and see what we think of it. It looks cool as all get out, but we're kind of curious to know how long it lasts, how long before we gotta swap this out and put a new clutch on it. So is it reliable? Who knows? Time will tell. Several little things, the oil filter cover, and several little components here and there that he's added. The foot pegs, TM Design Works chain guide right here in the back, and then TM Design Works chain guide right here in the front under the chain there. Aftermarket plastics, and the plastics have been really well maintained. The guy that built it also put in this looks like, and we don't know this for sure, but it looks like a +2 steering stem with the anti-vibe feature, and then he had a different handlebar clamp, but we had a brand new clamp from Alba, and so Alec put this on last night. Alec had a pair of Pro Taper fat bars, and he put those on last night too. So in the next video that we post at Swamp Gump Harpy, we're gonna take this out and ride it, and again, we'll see what we think. But so on my 400EX that you've seen before, after we tried several times to use 3-4 different local mechanics, we decided just to send that motor off to CT Racing in Santa Fe City, California, and Alan is rebuilding that motor now. And when that motor gets back, we're going to slap it on the frame on the 400EX, and we're going to take that and this new to us YFZ, and we're going to take them for a ride. So, as always, thanks y'all for tuning in to Swamp Gump Harpy, and we'll see you guys next time when we take this out with the 400EX and we hit the trails, which hopefully is going to be here in the next week or two. We are in the absolute wilderness here in the Rocky Mountains.